conceptual side.
Sure.
Because I actually just did a blog on it. It was based on a conversation that we had when we were at your studio, and it was we were asking you about your working process. And you were saying that obviously the modeling process is expensive, so once you hit like a certain point, you wouldn't need them anymore. And I remember asking like, oh, aren't you worried about, like the face and stuff? And you were like, oh, I'm not really worried about representing exactly what they look like. And how that just like blew my mind, because as someone who also works representationally, I find myself constantly getting hung up on that.
Right.
And I just recently had a break where I was like, oh shit, like I'm just representing an experience more so than like a one-to-one thing. And that was like, it was something that was said in passing, but was like blew my mind. I feel like so many artists need to hear it. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit more with you, and how you can like break out of that.
Right. I think you said a couple things in there that are keys to the answering of that question. The first is that you're representing something. Like partly you're representing an experience, but the idea, in fact, this is one of the reasons why I don't like I think we may have touched on this a little bit. I don't like the word realism. Because realism is a deceptive word. Like what we do is not realistic. Like if you want to make things that are one-to-one, like you said, you should be working in cloning, right? You should be a scientist, right? Clone individuals, right? That's one-to-one. What we're doing, anything that you do artistically, even if it's abstract, is a representation. You're representing something. You're taking it from one form and representing it in another form. And so that's I think the key to the answer, what you just said, that you're not doing something one-to-one, you're representing it. And you're by representing it, you're choosing what you want to present. Right? For example, like when I'm doing sculpture, right? I'm working with a live model who's living, breathing, moving, right? Even when they're standing still, they're not really standing still, they're moving. Okay. So my sculpture is never going to have that quality, right? Because I'm using materials that don't have that organic movement to them. So if I want to represent movement, I'm going to have trouble doing so in a static form. I have to find another aspect of presentation that will display the living quality of human being, right? And so I'm picking and choosing the elements that I edit out and put in to represent that aspect of biological truth, right? And that's why, so that's, I think, the key to it is understanding that what you're doing is really, in a very real sense, abstract. You're abstracting, you're taking it away from the reality of one thing and presenting it to the viewer in another form. So you're abstracting, you're pulling it away from its source and filtering it through all of your experience in the act of making to present another idea. Okay, so that's, I think, the key to that for artists who want to work representationally, is to understand that that what they're doing is using a particular set of schemata to present to the viewer an idea of that experience.